Um, I have a sculpture design that's overdue, and they need shit from me like ASAP. And I've been like trying to make people being like, yo, I need to bounce something off of you. Can I just ask how anybody might envision like a relationship between like an alien and a cow, where an alien or like a creature or whatever is like on top of a cow?
Oh, I just
Where it's
received in the
perhaps the
mail
creature is riding
the
the
other
cow,
copy
but
of Creativity
it's
Inc.
like
that I
they're
got.
equals.
So whoever wants to take it, just message me and I'll send it
I
to
want to
you,
send
or
really
give it
fast
to you in person if you're in New York.
a picture in the chat.
Hey, I'll take
Alright,
it.
y'all.
I'll come pick it up one day.
We're about to tune drums.
Cool.
Alright.
I've been learning how to use a sewing machine, and I'm going to try to learn a different stitch today.
I just wrote something that feels really magical to me, and I'm trying to record it now.
What do you say? Wait.
If anyone else is interested in sharing why they make art, I'm very interested in hearing.
It's like the balance between trusting the flow and the fluidity of instinct, but also the structure and action and the like square lines. And I know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it's that sacred geometry, it's that Fibonacci spiral with the structure along with it. It's the duality of the fluidity, but also like the creation of something material. So it's like a living embodiment of that for me.
Okay, I have a few questions.
Yes, please.
Give me 1 second. That was loaded. I'm going to take it back just a minute.
Also, may I say you are a great interviewer.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can't wait for your radio show.
Whoa. Thank you. You spoke about art builds trust in yourself, like your process of making art builds trust in yourself. And I recognize like that is a positive thing, but why? Like, why do you see it as important, or why is it important to have trust in yourself?
Because life is risk. And as we've talked about, when you're starting something, when you're choosing to embody a practice, a consistent practicing of something in your life, be that a career or an idea or a concept, you need to take that leap. And like you said, we can do anything. If you want to have I forget what the terminology was, but like a gallery, like showing, an art show, I think is what you said. You just do it. You reach out, you create the connections you need, you hire people, and you just make it happen. And doing that takes so much trust in the self that you are capable of creation and of doing anything. And it's taking that initial leap and putting the concept into action that can be really scary. It's the fear of change. You need to trust to embrace change.
Like, I feel like when I'm playing guitar mostly, I'm able to kind of just like forget that it's kind of corny, but it's true that I kind of forget that I exist sometimes, like when I'm so focused on it.
That whole section of what you're talking about, until you talked about, the creation of something material. And I understand, like, I've think a lot of us view the creation of something material like the translation of just something that has never existed in a way that we can physically interact with. To make something that we can interact with is a superpower. It is one of the most miraculous things that any of us could witness. You know, something comes from nothing.
Just like a form of like therapy in a way, or something just to like let go into something that's like physical and just let it rest there or something, you know, like it can still be in me, but like, you know, it's gonna be there for now. And it can chill there, do whatever, it can do its thing. It's just more like, definitely more of a release. And like, sometimes I like it and then I want to share it. And then that's what that is.
I don't know if we have the words. We feel so thankful right now. This is really beautiful. This is really cool. There's like, this feeling is here consistently, and we all know where to go to access it. And this amorphous feeling has that much more form now. And that is personally valuable to us. We're very thankful.
I don't really have an elaboration on this, but I'm just feeling that we are all reflections of each other so deeply.
Jonah, you really put something in perspective for me about this group. We come here and share the best parts of our lives and the worst part of our lives as we're growing through them each week. And that's something that's so powerful to me. It's like we're all growing together and feeding off of each other like one complete unit. And I guess that's what all of us really means, you know? It's like,
it's crazy. Like the more that I got further into music, when I first started, I was just super satisfied with just like recording on my iPhone. I was super satisfied with that. Like it gave me happiness. Like everyone would make fun of me, like, dude, you suck. I was like, well, I don't care. But as I got stronger, like the instruments that I used to express myself didn't satisfy me anymore. Like I wanted a guitar. Then I had the guitar. I was like, the guitar, I want an electric guitar. All right, I got an electric guitar. It feels good. Then you realize, like, when you get used to that, you're like, oh, there's a different levels of electric guitar. Oh, my Squire isn't gonna sound as good as a Stratocaster. All right, now I got a Stratocaster. I'm going off on this Stratocaster. Then you're like, wait, I want a bass now. Then you get the P bass. You're like, oh, this bass is fire. You're like, wait, this doesn't hit. I gotta get another amp. You're like, that kind of goes up, and the purity of it, like, I'm still struggling, but I kind of think about when London wrote in your diary that, like, how when you got to a certain point, you were like, I want the same piano that Queen played on. I want the same microphone that the Beatles used. Right? Like, and I really related with that. Like I want to express myself in these instruments, and I don't want to use Spectrasonics no more. I don't want to use Keyscape. I don't want to use some pirated synth software no more. Like, I want a real synth. And those things cost so much money. And I'm like, right? And I just wish sometimes I could go back to like that feeling when I first started, where all I needed was just my voice, my room, and a beat, you know?
No, don't go back. Don't go back. We need you. Like, we need you, Dom. Like, okay. It's so beautiful that you are life, right? Like, you're a life form, and you can do fucking anything with your time, any day, right? Like, you take in this, like, memory of life, like in the form of like food, like some other life form. You reorganize it into you. You have some calories. You have the ability to keep doing whatever you're gonna do for like however many hours, right? And you focused on sound. You focused on sound at whatever threshold you could. You're like, you know what? We can get this access to the experience of sound for like a value of like no dollars if we pirate this plugin. Like, got it. I have no dollars, but I have all the attention in the world, and I'm willing to pay as much attention as needed to get this experience. And then you're focusing on sound. You're like, you know what? This is the sound of like this synth. This is the sound of this guitar. And then your body literally takes that experience you just had focusing on sound, and it rebuilds itself as a physical memory of that experience. And so life can experience sounds on a deeper level through you. And eventually over time, you can be like, you know what? If you're listening through these ears, through your ears, we can tell you the difference between a Squire and a Stratocaster and a Telecaster. Like, we can tell you the difference between a P-Bass and a Hofner. Like, we are like the experience of sound concentrate. Like, it's in our ears. It's in the way our mind is reorganized, it's the way our bodies are reorganized. Like, if you want to craft a truly deep experience of sound, if you value that, then our body is an access point to that experience. Like, our body will make the music, you value the music, and now you have music that's like crafted well, instead of crafted with like the most generic of sounds. Like you don't want to go back to where you didn't know the difference. We don't want you to go back. We want you to go forward. Like, we want you to be all of that and then be like, you know what? This has this value. And then do things in the world where as life values experience of a richer sound, of a deeper sound, as life values the experience of its own cultural memory, its own narrative and journey through overcoming marginalization, you know, in a nation where like demographics underrepresented, like as life values those stories being told with sonic beauty and clarity and harmonic depth and great sound design and like cinematic level sound, you're here declaring that has this value. Life values that through you, through valuing the albums you make, valuing the works that you make, the shows that you put on. And then all that value goes into you, and you decide what's valuable to you as life. And you might then purchase that piano for real instead of the plug-in emulation of that piano, which means that the human that spent their 10 years being like, okay, but the tension in the strings, if we choose these strings over these strings, it's a better piano. And the wood has to be this wood. I know what fucking wood it needs to be. That musician may not know, but I spent 10 years of my life being the fucking focus on that wood. So, like, they gonna value me to make that piano. And it's like, that's how economies form. Like, that's literally like, we build up these large cultural memories of what we really value as humans. As long as, like, when we wake up, we're honest about what we really value. Like, for every day that you woke up and focused on sound instead of what someone else thought of you, or like some bullshit emergency that popped up that was like, oh, you need to focus on this right now, but like if you didn't, it'd be over in a day. Like, you know, you're here as you now to participate in that ecosystem. You know, like, it's really important that when we're here, we do what we love, because we become what we do, and then we become what we love. And then society forms around that. Everything around us is just memory. That building's memory. The fucking cookie cutter ass suburban house is just memory. It's just a memory of shelter, which is good, but like shelter over creativity, right? Like, if we start valuing shelter and creativity, the house is our memory of our valuing shelter and creativity. Like, everything here is malleable. It's just the calcified memory of those moments of inspiration where we just did something, you know, we just left and did something. And like, Danny's right. Like, when something hits you, like Danny wants to make a radio show, he's going to fucking make a radio show, because that energy is in Danny. He's going to be like, I can do it. He's going to do it. And that thing is going to exist as another cultural memory that makes access to some experience related to that much easier, you know? Like, keep being you, keep going forward. Like, let's keep growing this world into the world that's fulfilling to be in. You know?
Damn. Damn.
How many people are there right now that can make Danny's radio show happen in this room? Like, how if all of us like came together, I guarantee you we would be able to make that happen tonight. I guarantee it.
Fist.
Damn.
Yeah, he already did it.
I think I did. Danny's 20 steps ahead of us. 20 already.
It's far-fetched, but like, I'm feeling a lot of what I think all of us is forming into.
No. We'll understand
all in this like weird. We're all these webs sticking together right now, and we can use those webs to form any shape we want. That's the best I can put it.
Facts.
I love it. Connor, we love you.
We love you. That's facts.
Factoids.
Fruit from the trip.